Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 89 of Telepathy, your favorite podcast on the internet. 89, we are climbing up there. We were just saying that in human years, like, we're nearing death.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Speaking of
this
death...
is so awkward. What the heck?
Okay,
Wait.
it's okay. We're the
We haven't recorded
podcast.
in so long.
I know. Speaking of death, we did not die. We had to skip a week because there were scheduling conflicts and, like, life was lifing, as I announced on our Instagram, and we just could not find the time to record. And we also wanted to do this episode justice because we had this idea and we're like, oh, we're excited about this. So we wanted to take a week just to perfect the idea and get that all together. So
this is a really fun idea. It was kind of sparked by an Instagram reel that I think you sent me about Benson Boone. And then we kind of just were DMing each other on Instagram kind of on this topic. And then we were like, this would be such a good episode idea.
Exactly.
There's so much to unpack.
Yeah, so we know a week without telepathy is a week without sunshine. So the sunshine is back. You are very welcome. Thank you for coming back. But speaking of, telepathy is not telepathy without our camp question or icebreakers. I was trying to segue that seamlessly, but it didn't really work. But every single episode, we do a camp question to get to know you better. And you can also, to get to know us better, we can also get to know you better because you can answer it on the Instagram at the Telepathy Pod. And because it's an odd episode, 89 is an odd number, it is my turn to come up with a question. So,
because you're an odd person.
Yeah, correct. Your name, your age, which more lore on that in a second. And then
lore update.
Literally, new age unlocked. Okay. And then if you had a reality TV show about yourself, what would it be called? And what would it be about? Give us pitch the idea of your life's reality TV show to us.
Okay.
And we'll see if the producers approve it.
This is hard. I honestly don't like this question whenever I'm asked it.
Wait, I don't think I know either. I'm going to be honest.
Okay. My name's Anna. I'm 22. And I don't know. I definitely don't know what it would be called. Anna actually would be called Anna and Savannah, but then it would change. It would change by where I'm at, obviously. So and then it would just be, it would just be about my life. It's a reality show about my life. That's just what it would be about. I think it would just, I don't really know. I feel like my life's not interesting enough to be a reality show. I just sit and watch YouTube half the day.
Okay, but what's the episode that is the climax of season 22 or pick an era of your life and what was the climactic episode of it?
Well, I'm going to say this current season is about to end with my graduation. I would say my study abroad was one season, and then this quarter is one season where I'm about to graduate, and it'll end on graduation, and all the drama will be all of the job rejections I'm getting.
Okay, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
My name is Enzo. I'm 18, which is new age unlocked. It was my birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday. Oh, that was only yesterday?
I know.
That feels so long ago.
Yesterday was... Anyways, I think I would call my reality TV show... The first thing that comes to mind is the train wreck because I feel like it's funny, but it also feels very millennial to me. But it's I feel like it's kind of catchy. I feel like the merch could go crazy. A new episode of the train wreck is out now. And
okay.
I think that the thing about it, the whole not consensus of the show, but the whole idea is that, this literally is the definition of reality TV, but very minimal things exaggerated. So it's it's something that's why the name is very dramatic. It's the train wreck. You expected it to be crazy, but then the things that happen are so minuscule, but it's every little event it's acting like it's the most earth shattering thing that's ever happened. So that's why it's such a train wreck, but it's really you're just dramatic because I feel like that kind of sums me up a little bit, but
yeah, you're way better at pitching. Yeah, you're way better at pitching your reality show concept than me. That really put me on the spot.
No,
Camp
honestly,
questions don't often put me on the spot like this.
Right. No, it's good job interview practice.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that. I was like, why should I have totally just treated that like a job interview and like totally just like BS'd something?
So with my current skill set, I think that when it comes to reality TV, it would be most beneficial for me to explore my graphic design interests and kind of explore my potential within that. So yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Okay. Anyways,
Music shout out for the week.
yes, my shout out is the song Moments by MOIO. I think it's like an acronym or like, I don't know if it's like, it's in all caps. I don't know. I really like the song though. The Spotify algorithm has led me to it. And it's
Love
a good,
when the Spotify algorithm leads you to good things. Like,
exactly, in the little smart shuffle thing. And it's got a good indie summery vibe. Like it feels like the spring to summer transition, which isn't really upon us, but I can act like it because why not?
have you listened to what's his name? Somber yet? He's like going viral on
Yeah.
TikTok right now.
Yeah.
He's so good. Like, yeah, I was gonna do that as my shout out, but it's like kind of like everyone knows that song right now. But I was listening to like all of his music, and I'm not usually so impressed by like a someone that blows up on TikTok, but like his music sounds so like 2018 to me, 2018,
Oh.
2019. Like it's that like visually, like when I see 2019, it sounds like that. Like I don't know how to explain it. But my music shout out for this week, I've been listening to Feist and was listening to one of her older albums, and the song I'm going to shout out is Musha Boom. It's just a nice little indie, like springtime sounding song, I would say. And also, if you guys want to check out all of our music shout outs, we have a playlist called the Telepathy playlist, where you can go to our Instagram at the Telepathy Pod. We have a highlight titled playlist, and you can click that link to see all of the songs that we shout out for all 89 of our episodes thus far.
Yes. Wait, what's so embarrassing though about is it called Back to Friends or Friends? I don't know.
Something like that.
Anyways, that song. So I'm unfortunately an Instagram Reel user because at this point, like, well, I deleted TikTok when it
Same.
was going down because my phone's storage was in a crisis. So I just never re-downloaded it. And so
Yeah.
I've been using Instagram Reels. And so, of course, like, it takes approximately like 2 weeks to a month for whatever's going on TikTok to find its way to Instagram Reels. But once again, the Spotify
Yeah, no, I
algorithm,
just discovered this like 2 days ago.
no, the Spotify algorithm led me to that song because
Oh, wait,
like it was
same.
because it was blowing up on TikTok, I guess. And so I didn't realize I knew it was like doing well or whatever because I saw it was like popular and my Spotify kept wanting to play it. And I was like, I love this song.
Same thing happened to me. I was on an Addison Rae Spotify shuffle algorithm. Like,
Keep
so
your headphones
I
on. I'm putting that in the playlist.
Yes.
Sorry, go.
yeah. So I like shuffled Addison Rae's discography, and then when it ended, it just started playing random stuff, and it was a really, really good mix that it was playing for me. And then eventually it led me to that song.
Addison Rae. Well, I'm just going to add it to the playlist, but we can get into her because she fits well with our
Yeah, this is a
topic for
good
today.
segue. Unless you have a TV shout out, I don't.
I don't. And then, like, it was my
Yeah.
birthday yesterday and I was on a field trip. That's all. That was my week.
Oh yeah, week recap. Yeah, I don't. Nothing crazy. So yes, Addison Rae.
I need
The-
a bad bleep, Addison Rae. No, but I didn't know that the Back to Friends song was popular until I saw it on the Spotify charts or whatever. And I was like, oh, I guess it's doing well on TikTok. But yeah, okay, Addison Rae.
Basically, should we discuss like what? I don't even know what the title of this episode is going to be yet, but like, basically, it's about like pop artist brand identity.
Yeah.
That's what I titled my note. And we kind of want to talk about like how some pop artists are like, you know exactly who they are. They're very like their brand identity is just very like tight. Whereas some artists, aka a lot of the people who are kind of up and coming right now, are very much like, who are they? Like, I don't exactly know what I'm in for when I like click play on their music.
Right. Or like what sets you
So-
apart?
Yeah, or what sets you apart, because some of these people do have things that set them apart. For example, like Benson Boone is known for his like backflips. Tate McRae is known for like how she's such a good dancer and like trained dancer. but it's still just like there's something about it that it's like what sets you apart. We can't quite figure it out yet.
Like something's
Whereas
not clicking.
Addison, yeah. Whereas I feel like we can talk more about this too, of just like why is Addison Rae like, why are we both like so into what she's doing?
Why are we standing her?
Because I can't really name something that exactly sets her apart.
Okay,
But
I think that...
do you?
Okay, yeah, she's definitely choosing to go for this Y2K aesthetic, and I feel like she's not the first person to kind of re-explore that. Like, I feel like the 2000s look, low-rise jeans, Britney Spears, just like, and not to like even compare her, like, bring Britney Spears into this, but that whole era of music, there's definitely, we've seen artists try to recapture that. But for some reason, for Addison Rae, I think it's working so well because it feels like kind of natural to her. Like, obviously, there was a rebrand at some point, but it's like it works for her. She kind of carries the same carelessness of maybe a 2000s pop star. And I mean, obviously, I do think it's working well for her, but I think with a lot of artists, they'll try so many different looks and brand aesthetics and stuff. And if it's not immediately received well, they'll kind of switch it up so it feels kind of like inauthentic. But I think for her, she kind of made that switch and stuck with it. And I think it felt natural to her because when she first released her EP and stuff, it did feel like the kind of bubblegum pop, very like sort of generic sounding. But I think that
Right.
when people were talking about the auto-tune usage in it and stuff like that, I think it's cool that she kind of almost rolled with that and was like, I'm going to make this even more quote unquote generic and artificial sounding, I guess, when it comes to pop. And I feel like it's just
Right.
worked for her, like with the scream and stuff. She's not trying
Yes.
to prove any sort of vocal ability or anything. Like there's something just kind of, there's a free spirit element to it that I think is really fun. And I think that's why it fits with Brat. And I don't know, I think she's only going to keep growing.
I think maybe it's because it's so unexpected. Like, I think when she was featured on Von Dutch with Charlie XCX, I think everyone was like, wait, what the heck? Why did Charlie choose Addison Rae, like a just TikToker? Like, that's all she does right now. Whereas she had released music at the time, but like, I think it was so unexpected that people paid attention to it, basically. And I think that's actually what set her apart. So a lot of people are very anti, like, I feel like I'm being kind of controversial. I feel like we're being kind of controversial by being so excited about Addison Rae's music and stuff, because I have
Guys, her
seen a
album
lot of
cover
discourse.
is so good.
I know,
Her new
okay.
song is so good. Like she's being really consistent. Everything is working for her.
And like, yeah, so she's getting a lot of hate, obviously, as a post TikToker becoming a music artist would get hate. But a lot of people are saying that her brand feels very manufactured. So like, I had sent you a screenshot the other day from a tweet that Pop Crave posted Addison Rae stunts with third generation iPod Nano. And she's like holding an iPod Nano in this picture, which I think is awesome, and I really want an iPod Nano now. But then somebody quote tweeted it and said, "I've never seen an artist's brand feel so manufactured, and I'm a K-pop stan." And I was like, oh shoot, like I don't know, like does it feel manufactured? Like,
But she's sticking to it. That's
don't
why it
know how
works for me, I think. I don't know.
yeah, it feels cohesive, and I think that's why I'm fine with it. What was the other thing? Oh, yes. So then the album cover. Her album was announced like a few days ago, and the album cover was posted, and it's so beautiful. I love it. It's like
The graphic
very
design.
colorful. Yes, she's wearing this like kind of like mesh thing, like just like fairy princess vibes. And then it's just her name in like this very curly 2000s, not the Y2K that you would picture of like the metallic and like that type of Y2K, but it's the true like, what's the word? Kind of like twee Y2K.
Yes.
And like the type that would be in like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants movie cover or something like that, where it's that very like curly font that's very bad, but like it's so good.
Yeah,
So
like
as a graphic designer, I'm going to say I love this album cover and I think it's one of the best we've seen this year.
I agree. So, okay, we're talking about kind of up and coming artists and how they're establishing their identities as they're coming more into the spotlight. But I think there's also some well established artists, or at least artists who have been very successful in, being famous and in Hollywood. It's not anything new to them, but still something isn't really working. And somebody that I wanted to bring up, which no shade, but Camila Cabello.
Ooh, that's a good
I think
one.
because her most recent album, I think it was her third studio album as a solo artist. So she's
Yeah.
definitely not new to the scene. And of course, in Fifth Harmony, which, okay, the interesting thing though is I think that the reason why she was the only successful member, not, that sounds mean, the only, the reason why she was the most successful numbers wise Fifth Harmony member is because I think that there was something that set her apart. Like I think with Havana and her first album, we kind of were able to see her sound of this like heavy Latin influence, but still very pop. And I don't know, she had this like fresh vibe. I feel like her performances were good. She had some good collaborations.
Yes, the collaborations were really good
Yes.
at
And
the
so it
time.
was like, it was working for her. Like, I feel like you could get the full picture. And she definitely, after Havana was so successful, she kept going and it still felt cohesive and stuff. Um, I also think, can I just mention that I think Normani had so much potential to be exactly where she
Oh,
is.
I know.
And it sucks because with Motivation, I think that she was setting herself up for so much success. Like the
I
music video
know.
for that, the sound of it, this kind of almost like 90s pop, but like very much
Yeah.
still 2018 pop, like, or 2019, I think, still felt very true to that. And so it felt fun and fresh. I think her voice is really good. And then like it set herself up for success and now people were like wanting the album. But so much time passed and then she had the song with Cardi B and that felt like a totally different vibe. So it just felt like a little bit mixed up. Anyways, moving on to Camila
And
Cabello's.
she did release an album eventually, right?
She did. It was like Dopamine. I think it was last year.
Yeah, which is crazy because when Motivation came out, I was like, I am gonna be following her. Like, I will listen to the album when it comes
You were
out, and then it
motivated.
did, and I didn't listen to it because I lost motivation.
Yeah, exactly. So there was just like something that wasn't working for that I think felt a little bit jumbled up. But going back really
I
quickly
think
to,
it's. Oh yeah.
sorry,
No,
no, go.
keep going. Well, finish the. Were you
Okay.
gonna finish about Camila Cabello?
Sure. Okay. So now fast forward to her third album. Something about it didn't really work for a lot of people. I think because I believe her lead single was the I Love It song with Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
And so people thought, okay, she's going in the hyper pop direction. And I think that the thing is, I think that that could have worked for her and people could have gotten behind it if she stuck with it. But it was like, now she's blonde. Okay, cool. New sort of visual accompaniment to her genre switch up where people were anticipating. But then the album came and it wasn't necessarily hyper pop. There wasn't a lot of, it kind of was like, okay, wait, what's different about this? Or what was this kind of
Right.
switch up with I Love It if it was just going to be another pop album where I feel like nothing super new and fresh. So I think that's why that didn't necessarily land super well for people. Whereas,
Right.
who's like another example? I guess Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know. It's short and sweet. I don't know what album this is for her. It's like 6 or something, 5. I feel like
Yeah,
it's,
5 or 6.
yeah, so it's definitely not her first rodeo either. But I think that the Emails I Can't Send album saw a lot of success. And I think that songs like Feather and all of that were doing well. And I think that she only kept riding that wave and kind of stepped it up to the next level and saw what was working with that and then just like kept that same energy for her
Yeah.
short and sweet album. And that's why it just did so well, is doing so well, and people love it.
Yeah. I literally like had been saying for so long because I loved Sabrina Carpenter's like earlier like the singular, specifically the Singular Act 1 album. I like when that was like new at the time. I was like, one day she's gonna be like one of the main pop girls, but like, why hasn't it happened yet? And I think you're right. It is because she got off of the Disney contract, so she was able to make more like music that wasn't so clean, I guess. And then two, I think she realized that fans liked that, the kind of like innuendo type lyrics that she did so much more of that, and I think that is what made her more successful, was just seeing what people like the best.
Yeah, because sorry, wait. Am I interrupting?
Well, no, go no,
Well,
go
I was just
ahead.
like the explicit nonsense outros were, people love that. They thought they were funny. And so you kind of see that
Yeah,
same energy in, I
in
mean,
Juno.
camaraderie, like that same, like I feel
And
like
the
she
like
just
have
saw what
and the
was
like have
working
you
and
ever
kept it
tried
going.
this one?
No, exactly. Like
Yeah.
she saw it was working and she kept going and it doesn't feel super
Yeah.
forced.
I wanted to bring up another like flop artist similar to Camila Cabello.
Clocker.
Sorry, but like I mean Doja Cat, right? Like
I don't know.
for the most part, you don't know.
Because I don't know, for her, I feel like she had a rebrand that was kind of like, I don't want to be famous and kind of like rejecting Hollywood culture. But it's like that within itself was kind of curated almost. You know what I mean? Like she was kind of curating this kind of going off the path. And then it's like the whole thing
Yeah,
was that she was going against it. But it's like, then that became the thing. She was going against it, which
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not like 100% set on her as I was saying as I'm not 100, sorry, I'm not 100% sure set on saying that she's a flop, but it's more like I used to follow her so much in the early like 2020, 2021 when she was releasing those albums, that when this new album cycle, it's not that I like was purposefully like, oh, I'm not going to listen to her anymore. It was more that like I just kind of lost interest, or like didn't see her as much, or didn't hear the new music as much. So I kind of just like stopped being as much of a fan as I was back in like 2020.
Yeah, I think for me with
But I'm
Doja Cat,
open, yeah.
I think that she did a really good job on Hot Pink and Planet Her of blending pop, R&B, and hip hop so seamlessly. And it was like literally so many songs on Hot Pink. Like Say So was a popular pop song. Streets was kind of a popular R&B song. And then like Cyber Sex, or like there's a few other ones on there that were more hip hoppy that definitely did really well for her. And I think that she was like definitely known for her versatility and still is known. But I think now with Scarlett, I don't know, like some of it felt a little bit lost to me, like with so many trap beats and stuff. But I feel like she wasn't fully tapping into that rap, like with the tension she was. But then with the Demon single, it felt like, like a very hardcore beat with like some good 808s. Like she could have gone off rap wise, but instead it was still kind of like slow melodic rap. And so it just felt a little bit like, I don't know, like I feel like there wasn't anything like super crazy exciting for me personally. But I don't know, like I think that her shaving her head and all of that really should not have been like that big of a deal, or like been seen as like a rebrand and all that, or seen as like, oh,
Yeah.
she fell off. But I do feel like there was some sort of disconnect with Scarlett that happened that didn't give me the same fresh feeling as
Yeah.
Planet Her and Hot Pink. But I still like Doja
Yeah,
Cat.
I would say like disconnect is a good word. Like I still really like her. I do just feel slightly disconnected. She was in a new she had a collab with Lisa from Blackpink, and Lisa's I'd never really listened to Blackpink or K-pop, but Lisa's album is so good. Definitely
Every Blackpink
recommend.
member doing their solo things, like they're all thriving.
Yeah. But her collab with Lisa was really good. We should talk about like some of the other artists we had mentioned, like Benson Boone. I'm unsure about Tate McRae. I think Tate McRae's brand is somewhat strong. I just don't really like her.
I was gonna say I feel like there's a bias for me because something about her is just not
Yeah.
like clicking for me, but I don't think it has anything to do with her visual
Yeah.
identity necessarily.
I almost like want to like her because I like her visual identity, and I like watching, like when I see a reel of her dancing or whatever, like I like watching it, and her music videos seem pretty cohesive and all that, but like I just don't really like her. So
It's almost like the music
that's
doesn't
just a
work for
personal
me.
opinion. Yeah,
Like I
it's
think
just
her
a
visual
personal.
identity works for me, but it's just like the music itself isn't really working for me. Therefore, the whole visual aspect of it doesn't work because there's nothing really to enhance. Because normally, like that enhances the music, but when I don't already like the music, I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, there's not much we can do.
Yeah. Benson Boone.
Benson Boone.
You guys know how much I hate Benson Boone.
Wait, okay.
Sorry.
The video that I sent you, let me
Yes.
okay, I'm gonna
Yeah, we
literally
need to be reminded of what it says. So I watched the season of American Idol that Benson Boone was on. I'm happy that there's actually like an American Idol person becoming famous, because I always get upset when like you get sent to American Idol and then somebody wins and then they don't do anything ever afterwards. So like I'm happy about that, but I just can't stand that song. What is it, Before You Go? No, wait, that's Louis Capaldi. That's the same song to me.
these beautiful things that
Oh,
I've
beautiful.
got.
Oh
Does
my
a
gosh.
backflip.
Don't, like, I've never hated a song more.
Okay, wait.
Ever.
So,
Like, I was at a coffee shop the other day and they started playing that song, and I literally got my AirPods out and started listening to other music for the rest of the time.
okay, I don't want this to sound bad, but I think that a lot of some of the Benson Boone criticism, it is interesting to see, because I feel like it's not the first time, but with pop being there's so many women run pop. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it. Like, women run pop,
Yeah.
and it's ironic because I feel like female pop stars are the ones that are expected to do the most. When in reality, it's like they've actually been the ones running it the whole time. It's like, how are you still wanting more? And I feel like,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift kind of talking about the eras and stuff, and how she feels like she constantly has to rebrand herself and constantly change, or else she's gonna be boring or she's gonna fall off. Whereas a lot of male pop stars don't really have to do that, or like, I don't know, like,
Right.
I feel like I don't hear
Yeah,
people
like I feel
talking
like
about.
like for example, Harry Styles, I feel like he never had to like rebrand for each different album. I feel like he was always the same
Right.
person.
Like, I feel like Fine Line definitely established his identity as like a pop star, but
Right.
like his first album necessarily, like, I don't know if there's a ton visually to it, but it still worked for a lot of people, and that's great. But I think it just goes
Yeah,
to show
like
how, like,
why can I not think of like any other male pop stars other than like Harry Styles?
okay, Shawn
Unless they're in like
Mendes.
R&B. Okay, I'm not
Shawn
convinced.
Mendes, it's like
Ed
I feel like
Sheeran.
nothing like visually is coming to mind in terms of aesthetics and how,
Yeah.
like, music videos, tour videos, fashion. Like, I'm not really seeing much. Even like, I was gonna say The Weeknd, but I actually feel like his sort of 80s pop
Yeah, The
sound
Weeknd is
visually,
Yeah. I will
he's done
yeah.
things that work with that, and like his Super Bowl performance. I think The Weeknd, cool. We love The Weeknd. A lot of like, so this Instagram reel that I sent Anna was talking about how, let me credit this person. So this Instagram reel is
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Dylan.Horner, and he was saying that he feels that Benson Boone is very lost in his visual identity pop-wise. Specifically, what prompted this was the reveal of his sophomore album cover. I don't know what it's called, but it's with him with an American flag on his back, and he's shirtless. And
It looks like the like Bruce Springsteen or something like
yeah,
that.
I can't really tell you. I can't interpret this album cover. I don't listen to a ton of Benson Boone and his other music, so maybe that's why. But I can't really tell you.
I was shocked to find that it's his sophomore album. I genuinely thought that he
I
hadn't released
know.
an album yet.
So,
I'm glad that I'm like,
and a lot of people are saying how he has, tried to base a lot of stuff off of like challenging gender norms, like trying to be like so Freddie Mercury, like jumpsuit and all of that. But then it's kind of just like not hitting the mark for a lot of people.
yeah, and like, why does he feel the need to do that? Why does he feel the need to
And there are
challenge
so
gender
many things that
norms?
like a lot of people in the queer community have like worn, and it's like trickled down to straight men
Yeah,
eventually. Like, for example, Ugg boots. In 2014, if you were a guy wearing Ugg boots, like, you probably would be bullied.
yeah.
Like,
I didn't know that straight men
yeah,
were wearing
or
Ugg
like
boots.
called gay or whatever. And now you see all the straight guys in their baggy jeans wearing like the little mini Ugg boots, and it's like, it's cool
Oh,
now,
okay.
but it's like, you would have made fun of that
Yeah.
years ago because like your masculinity is so fragile. But that's another conversation.
I'm just
But
confused.
yeah,
Why is Benson Boone the one that is coming in to challenge gender norms? Like, why him? Like,
Yeah,
It
it's
just
like
doesn't feel like he's
so
the
that's why
person for this.
I don't really claim that necessarily. Like I'm kind of like, okay. I think it's also weird because it's like he's actively okay, I don't I feel like a hater, but I feel like he's actively
I am
changing.
a hater.
Okay, yeah. This is a safe space. I'm just kidding. No hate to Benson Boone. If you're listening to this, like
I can't say
this is
that.
criticism. This is just critiquing. This is just your average podcasters sitting in front of a
Yeah,
microphone with
guys,
too much to
yeah, don't like come for us. Like, it's just an opinion.
right. Like if Vincent Boone's your favorite artist, I respect that opinion, and I don't share that opinion, but I respect you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it seems
That's
like
why
he's
music taste is special because everyone has their own music taste.
hashtag
Mine just
subjective.
isn't Vincent Boone.
Right. But okay, it's like he's actively changing his brand and his like visual identity and like what we've been talking about in this episode. He's actively changing it, but the music isn't changing. And I know he just released a new song, so I think he can kind of build off of that. But it's like he was changing his looks through performances of beautiful things. And it's like the song is
Yeah,
still the same. The song is still
yeah,
the exact same. He's just trying to change what he's wearing, the dances he's doing and stuff. And I think Doja Cat's a good example of how she performs Say So a million times, but she did a few performances of it where she would wear something different and then it was more of like a rock instrumentation. So I think if maybe he changed like the instrumentation of the song and then changed up like his looks and all that, maybe it would be received better. But
yeah.
to me, it just
For
feels
me,
weird.
it's just his look that he's trying to go for, at least in this first era where he's trying to be like Freddie Mercury or whatever. Like, his look doesn't match his music. Like, if there was a male pop star that was making really good like 60s to 70s to 80s style like rock music, I would totally be down for that if they were doing backflips on the stage and wearing cool jumpsuits or whatever. But that's just not the type of music he's making. So that's why I'm like, why? What is the point of this?
Yeah, and now with like the mullet, the mustache, and the American flag cover, it's like, wait, we're in like 50 different places at once, and it's not like you
Like,
have to
that's just
pick an
Morgan Wallen.
area.
Like I picture Morgan Wallen now, and I picture Benson Boone.
Exactly. And that doesn't resonate super well with me. But anyways, one thing that I wanted to talk about is how I really do think it does come down to the music at the end of the day. And somebody that weirdly came to mind, well, not weirdly because I literally adore this person, but Mitski, she's not necessarily the pop. Well, she's done some pop stuff. She's just an amazing artist, but I would say she's definitely more of a private artist in that you don't see her at award shows super often or doing big television performances. Or, I mean, she's done like the genius behind the lyrics and stuff. She's done maybe some nightly television performances, but nothing like backflipping off of a piano, that kind of vibe, you know? She's definitely more private, you know, not very present on social media. Her like social media presence is often just to inform people about her music. Um,
Right.
but I think that the reason why I still feel like I know who Mitski is as an artist is because her music is so like she really paints a picture with her lyrics and through
Yeah.
storytelling and stuff. So it's like I get the full picture through her songs and through her full albums. That it's like it clicks in my brain because I know who she is. Her personality comes through in her music. Her voice is really nice. The instruments, like it all feels cohesive. And so that all works great for me. And it clicks even though she's not on the Met Gala red carpet or like, I don't know, doing other pop star things. And I know maybe she's not in the pop category necessarily, but I feel like she's just an example of an artist who I still get the full picture without so much in my face, you
Yeah.
know? I don't know.
And I feel like it is when they're so tied to the art of it that you can't, like, if you're tied to the art of what you're doing, like, it is going to be cohesive. Like Mitski, her music, yeah, it all fits together in a picture. You can kind of like picture maybe different seasons with different albums or something like that. And it's very like visually, like, she's always wearing similar things or like, you know, it just feels, her art style feels very like cohesive. also another one that came to mind for me was Japanese Breakfast. I've been listening to her a lot recently because she came out with a new album, and she also just always has a very cohesive aesthetic in the way that, like, in each album or era it can change. Same with Mitzi, but like it still feels, you just can tell that like they're into like hiring the right people to like create their album covers, to make their music videos. It just is able to visually reflect them as an artist very well through the, you know, reflecting the songs with the visual art. And I think maybe that's where it comes down to, is like you have to reflect the music through the visual art, because that's not what Benson Boone is doing. And visual art can include like music videos, album cover, costuming, also just maybe even the types of things that your fans wear to your concerts. Like Taylor Swift is very cohesive in that way. Sabrina Carpenter, Leve, even I haven't been to a Leve concert, but I've heard that everyone wears like their bows and like cute dresses and like, you know. So I feel like that is when the artist feels very cohesive. And I think that is why Addison Rae works, because I think her music reflects, I think the visual style reflects her current music that she's putting out.
Exactly. Also, Nicki Minaj, like in her early career, the song Super Bass to me literally sounds like a pink wig. Like if you were to tell me what do you think a pink wig sounds like, it's Super Bass by Nicki Minaj. Like she was able to establish that as a part of her artist identity so quickly, and I think it stuck so well in her career that I think that if you were to walk into like a party city with a bunch of wigs there, you could pinpoint which one looks like a Nicki wig, you know, because there's vibrant colors and it just feels like something, that Nicki Minaj would wear. And I think also with Lady Gaga, like she wore a lot of wigs in her early career too, yet they're still like set apart in my mind, obviously, because Nicki Minaj and Lady Gaga are two very talented artists and don't really like feel similar to me, but they're both able to establish their identities as pop stars and rappers that are very like theatrical and animated and expressive. And I think that, like I just said, literally Nicki Minaj being so animated in her music kind of correlates to this free spirit of like wigs and fun colors and or like not natural hair colors, you know, just stuff like that. And so it feels very in tune with her freestyle of rapping. Freestyle.
Have you
like
heard
free spacebar style? Not freestyle.
Have you heard the like hair theory for artists?
Yes.
Where like the really successful artists will have a very distinct hairstyle, and even if it changes, like Billie Eilish, for example, Billie Eilish's hairstyle has changed so much throughout the past 5 or 6 years, but like she does it in a way that like feels like her. Taylor Swift is known even for like, even though Taylor Swift has more normal hair, like it's still known for like the different types of bangs she had in different eras, or like the 1989 era being really short hair, or like Chappell Roan obviously
Sabrina
has
Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter, like people that you can, if you're playing Dress to Impress and the theme is pop star, like you know who you're gonna choose. It's one of those people. Even I think Doechii now is doing a really good job with her branding. Like she also has the very distinct hairstyle, and she at the Grammys she did the thing where she left the tape. The tape that you put to like make your eyes like not droop down or whatever. Like you leave it like uncovered, which was really interesting. And her fashion style is amazing too. But like, where was I going with this?
And the alligator. Can I also add the alligator to this? Like something about that. I'm just like, yes. Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to have something to associate with an artist. And then what I was going to say was like, obviously, this isn't saying that you have to be so perfectly in a character, basically, to be a pop artist. But honestly, I kind of think you do. Like, obviously, an artist can eventually do whatever they want. You don't have to fit into, like, the mold that you've created for yourself. Like, you can always change. But it is a business, and it is an art, and you have to, like, know how to appeal to your audience. And I think that is just being a consistent persona, even if you sometimes feel stuck in it, like Chapel Roan, I feel like sometimes feels stuck in her Chapel Roan identity, even though because it's like kind of a alter ego. But like that is what makes her successful.
I agree. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think, are there any artists who have not done this at the beginning of their career, but then did something that clicked? I guess like Sabrina Carpenter, there wasn't anything that wasn't clicking. Oh, Madison Beer. Wait, sorry. I literally forgot that she was on my list of people to talk about because so many people
And Gracie Abrams.
yes, have constantly talked about how Madison Beer, like, why is she not one of the main pop girlies and all of that? And when she was releasing the singles for her first album, um, like Dear Society, Good and Goodbyes, like I honestly, I love Madison Beer. Do I listen to her really
Yeah,
consistently?
same.
No, but there's just something about her that I love. But I think that a lot of people are saying that she hasn't taken off because like there's nothing that really sets her apart. But it's like I feel like the music is there and she's like great. So I don't know like what's not working necessarily, but maybe for this like main pop star identity, you need something very distinct about you.
Yeah. I think Charlie XCX, it could be an example of one that got more cohesive recently. Like, I think she's always had that persona of like the indie sleaze, like I don't care. Obviously, I don't care. I love it. but
I don't care.
but I think she did a really good job in over the past few years, even right before Brat, like her albums before Brat. I think she started to do a better job of like having a more cohesive feel to her art style. Gracie Abrams, I feel like I don't know. I just don't know if I just don't like her music, and if I'm biased. But like people were kind of hating on her like album cover and stuff like that. Her album photo shoot, it was kind of weird, not very inspired. And I listened to a Gracie Abrams song, or a few songs back in like 2018. Like I was kind of a fan of her, but she felt like such a different person, and now I like don't even consider these two people to be like the same
Oh,
person.
yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. I'm like, wait, I always remember, I'm like, wait, I used to listen to Gracie Abrams, but like, I feel like that's a totally different person than what I'm seeing now.
Right. Not to put you on the spot, but are there any graphic design elements of an artist that you're kind of that like maybe some that you've seen that you like, or like what's like a checklist in your mind like for an artist's graphic design identity to work? What are like your priorities or like most important aspects to you?
I kind of like when an album is themed around a color. Like, I like how Taylor Swift's albums are very, like, you know which album it is based on the color. And I think, like, Billie Eilish has done a good job with that. Like, I think green and black for When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Light yellow for Happier Than Ever. Blue for the new one that's a really long name. Hit Me Hard and Soft.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I just like when it's a creative. I just like when the album color and promotions and stuff are creative.
Yeah, like I feel like Taylor Swift Reputation, like the whole like newspaper font and stuff of it, like it's just so memorable. And even like the Taylor Swift fonts, like you can see each album title in the font. Like the Folklore font is very distinct to me. And just like having, I don't know, like the font correlates with the music. Like it feels connected. And so I think that's why I think with all of this is just like our epiphany for today is kind of just like how it has to be cohesive for it to work. Like it has to feel warranted. You dyeing your hair, did like your PR team or whatever just say that you need to switch it up so you're like, okay, blonde? Or does it feel warranted for the new music that you're creating? So I think that's the main thing is that it just needs to feel warranted for it to click with people.
Yeah, and that's why I was super excited to see Addison Rae's album cover and even some of her inserts into the CDs. Like, there's something that says like, "This is the first and last album by Addison Rae," and I'm
Really?
like, what does that mean? People are saying that they think she's going to rebrand to Addison, just Addison, which could be smart to just drop the Rae, because I feel like people will maybe eventually start to forget that she started as a TikToker.
Yeah, I think also that her CD sales with this album is going to be really good, because, I mean, the album cover just looks like something that I would have seen when I was younger at like Walmart in the CD section, when I would always look around and be like, oh, what is this album? So I think that because it's representative of the CD era, if you will, which is like weird, because it's like, why was I alive during that? And I'm like calling it an era of the past. I think it's just gonna feel like nostalgic to people, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna buy the CD for this.
Yeah, I will so agree with that. Yeah, I think that was a good. I feel like I kind of got out everything that I needed to say.
I vented about this. You got all you spewed all the Benson Boone hate that you possibly could have.
Yeah, but we did reach our epiphany moment of like, it is about the visuals. I feel like it's just about like representing the sound through the visuals in the correct way. So. Yeah.
Speaking of, high ponytail equals Ariana Grande. Yeah.
Yep.
It works.
Yep.
You also see the Telepathy cover, and just you see green and purple, and you're like, telepathy. So that's why we are experts, very credible on this topic, because green and purple only means telepathy. Every time you see Big Caslon, you know it's going down.
Although that might change soon.
Oh. But it's going to be warranted, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah. We have to figure out when the heck our rebrand is happening, but it's going to happen.
Right. Like, are you dyeing your hair purple or green? Because I'll just do whichever. The other one.
We could like do a reverse. Like, I become purple, you become green.
Okay, yeah. I'll buy the bleach and stuff tomorrow. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Telepathy. If you enjoyed, make some noise. No, I'm just kidding. Follow us on Instagram at the Telepathy Pod for more updates and to get more of our visual identity, if you will. And feel free to answer the camp question on our story and all the other fun interactive stuff that we have in store for you. So yeah, if you're listening on YouTube or watching, because this is a video episode available on YouTube and Spotify, give us a like and subscribe to the channel, or follow our podcast on Spotify, wherever you're listening. Review us, try it, buy it, lick it, split it, pull it to the side, all of the above. Yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday for another episode of Telepathy for episode 90.
Yes, see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.